We're going to start, obviously, with the late game decision making and everything that happened there in the final couple minutes. I think a lot of these guys who come into this job as play calling offensive head coaches, we've seen, especially early in their careers, that some of the decision making, some of the game management stuff can be hard to get your arms around when you're trying to figure out what the next play call is. So Nathaniel Hackett's sitting there. It's 4th and 5. In his mind, it's like, all right, what are we going to call on 4th and 5? 40 seconds ticks off from the time that Javonte Williams gets tackled on that 4th and 5 to the time they ultimately call a timeout with 20 seconds left. And then instead of trotting out the guy that you traded an entire couple years worth of drafts for and gave a $240 million contract to, you bring out your kicker after wasting those 40 seconds to kick a 64-yard field goal in order to try to salvage the game. I think there's some criticism that's a little bit warranted there.
I thought I had the yard line wrong. I was like, these guys were operating as if they had a 38-yarder lined up, and it was going to be 4th and 12. So let's just take the 38-yarder and get out of town. I mean, I was like, what are they doing? You're playing for a 64-yard field goal with Russell Wilson, who left Seattle because supposedly the coach didn't let him cook enough. And all he's doing all game, for the most part, they hit a couple downfield, but there's a lot of dump offs behind the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 8. What do we do? Let's throw it a yard past the line of scrimmage and hope the back breaks a tackle. You know, it was just like unbelievable to me. I mean, there was a lot of things other than the game that these guys were thinking about. And then you don't really play in the preseason. They weren't a team that did that. And I think, you know, you just have to hope over the course of time that stuff sort of works itself out. And this was just a tough night out, and they'll get better.
Were you surprised at the reception that he got? Were you not surprised at all that the boos rained down as soon as he came out of the field?
Oh, I wasn't surprised at all. And I think some of that, I don't think it's like a personal hatred of Russell Wilson. That's just the way it is. This isn't retirement and you're coming back 5 years later and we're having a halftime thing. You know, shoot, in the NBA, you know, the Celtics honored Dr. J in his last trip to Boston Garden, gave a piece of the parquet floor after 15 years playing. That's not what we're doing. They're playing a game and it's fresh. I mean, and the bottom line too is the Seahawks have not played nice with him. The minute he was traded, before he could go to his press conference, they put out from the head coach, the GM, and the owner that he wanted out.
Yeah,
I don't think that's how Russell
They've made
Wilson
it very clear that he wanted out, because even though he didn't demand a trade, those few teams that, I don't know, if I were to get traded, these were the places I would want to go. I think he's tried to massage this as much as possible.
Yes.
But I can understand them wanting to make it clear that he wanted to get out of here. We were not kicking him out the door.
And they feel like, hey, look, they've protected him enough from all the stuff over the years where he wanted this or that and he could have looked bad. You know, I think Russell Wilson wanted to have a nice reception. I think it matters to him. I think he cares about it, but didn't surprise me at all. I would have been shocked if there was a big thing. And remember, the Seahawks, in telling people that he wanted out, I think that the fans can read between the lines here. They knew that he didn't want to be in Seattle anymore. He thought Seattle was holding him back.
So just overall, some curious decisions in pretty high leverage spots for them from play calling perspective, clock management perspective, and a game management perspective.
And we didn't see Russell Wilson helping the team with his legs.
I think we might be done with that. Every time he tried to take off today, it did not look like he is in a place physically to do much with his legs anymore.
So what does that mean for him as a player?
It means bad things. We've speculated about that on the show for a couple years. Nate has called Baker Mayfield Russell Wilson without the athleticism. And if Russell Wilson is going to be Russell Wilson without the athleticism, what does that ultimately mean for him? Because he did not look like he was able to do any damage when he was trying to get out of the pocket today.
Yeah, I agree. He wasn't doing any of that. So then is he good enough in the rest of the other areas to elevate and be, you know, to justify not only the payment, but to elevate the team in a division where, by the way, guys can do all those things and they throw the ball better than him?
If you're George Payton, you better hope he is.
Well, George Payton did
him for a long time.
I agree. But it doesn't mean it's a mistake to get Russell Wilson, because you can't control who you can get. You get the best guy you can get, and he was the best guy they can get. So I don't fault any of that. But this idea that they're gonna have the offense to really keep pace, or that, wow, this shakes it up in the AFC West, could be true, but not based off the last year and a half of Russell Wilson playing, and certainly not off tonight.